In this bulletin, double digits continue for cases. Health officials warn of severe outbreak. And backlog affects postal services. Good afternoon. The Ministry of Health recorded 64 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday. Permanent Secretary Dr. James Fong says the new cases stem from the existing clusters. He adds 10 cases are related to the CWM cluster, 11 are linked to the Nawaka cluster, 23 are linked to the Navy cluster, 9 are related to the Navosai cluster, 10 are linked to the COVID-19 incident management team, and 1 is related to the Waila cluster. Dr. Fong also confirms that 77 of the 83 cases recorded on Sunday were connected to existing clusters. The PS says there is potential of new clusters that are related to the 5 cases in Naitasiri and 1 in Tavua. He also clarified that the person who had tested positive while admitted at the CWM hospital died yesterday. However, they have determined that his death was caused by serious medical illnesses and not COVID-19. The recent hike in daily numbers from the Central Division signals the increasing severity of the outbreak. Dr. James Fong says the emergence of clusters outside of the Lami Nosori containment zone in Naitasiri is a concern. Cases within the CWM hospital and within the COVID-19 incident management team are serious developments that have had an impact on their ability to respond. Fijians are being advised to expect more cases and take heed of COVID safety procedures. The public is reminded not to organize social gatherings, don't meet up with friends, never share a bowl of grog with workmates after work or anyone outside your household. You should also not visit family that live outside your home. Non-containment zones are at a risk of being breached. The PS for Health says Fijians in non-containment must act as if the virus is already in their communities by avoiding social gatherings and observing the COVID-safe protocols. One individual traveled from Naitasiri and had a cover session with a few people in Tavua village. Dr. Fong says with the support of Tui Tavua, they have facilitated a lockdown of Tavua village for an initial 4 days. He adds they will screen all contacts and then plan a more targeted lockdown area in the village. The Sugarcane Growers Fund is undertaking various reforms, including strengthening its governance and policies to ensure growth. Minister for Sugar and Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama says as part of its IT plan, the fund is in the process of rolling out its SCGF app for members to check their balances and apply for loans online. Bainimarama says the fund is currently working on its strategic plan to enhance its services. Between 2009 and 2018, the fund provided a total loan of approximately $82 million to 37,807 loan clients.
Though low, women still represent 5% of the fund's loan customers. To encourage more women into cane farming, as we've heard in the last couple of days, Mr. Speaker, through the Ministry of Sugar Industry's new Farmers Assistance Program, the fund offered loans to female growers at a reduced rate of 0.5% from normal rates, while special loan packages is also under consideration for women.
175 women from across the country who are part of the Academy of Women Entrepreneurs program class of 2021 will be studying virtually. These women will be upskilling their entrepreneur skills in order to advance their small, medium and micro businesses. WEBC coordinator says that the course is timely as it will help these women easily get back into business post-pandemic.
We've had women all over the sector. We have women that's from the agriculture sector who are market vendors. Some are pastries and bakers, and these are all moms.
Post Fiji Limited has seen a massive backlog of parcels stacked at their different branches over the past few weeks. Chief Executive Dr. Aniruddha Bansod says this is attributed to the stringent COVID-19 restrictions imposed since last month However, the agency will not impose an additional fee for the delay in picking up the parcels. He says their call center has been inundated with calls from customers requesting other alternatives to ensure their parcels are safely delivered to their doorstep. Dr. Bansal adds they are putting together strategies to rectify this issue, one of which is conducting a home service delivery with strict COVID-safe protocols.
Yes, there is a backlog of the parcel which is sitting with us, and we totally understand that it is difficult for the people to come to the post shop and collect those sort of things. Because of the containment and not getting not able to come at the post shops, we said that's fine. You just give us a call on the call center and we'll organize your delivery.
Up ahead, duo ready for overseas exposure. Welcome back. Overseas exposure and competition is the only option for Olympic hopefuls Eugene Volma and Banuvia Tambakaudoro, with restrictions still in place for Fiji. With only 45 days to go for the much-anticipated event, the duo know time is running out and competition is crucial to achieve personal best. The fight for the lone universality spot is now on for the duo.
International meets always pose a different atmosphere compared to the local meets. There's a lot more motivation. There's a lot more athletes who are of your caliber, of a higher standard, and that pushes you to do your best.
Volma says the 14-day quarantine is a hindrance as they will miss a few competitions, but a program is in place for them.
We'd have only one competition to compete in on the 25th. And we're looking forward to that one, but whilst in quarantine, our coaches have put together a training regimen, something we can do in the confinement of our rooms.
South Pacific Sprint King Banuvia Tambakaudoro says it is disappointing that the last few months of preparations had to be disrupted, but the athletes are working to overcome the challenges.
Actually got just one competition there, and the rest of the 2 or 3 weeks will be there will just be based off training, but at least we get to use the tracks and the gyms as well.
The other athlete also vying for the universality spot is Fiji's shot put champion Mustafa Fall. Netball Fiji is working closely with Netball Australia for competitions for their young netters once restrictions eases. This has been one of Netball Fiji's plans coming into the year, but due to recent events, all competitions had to be put to a halt. Federation President Rubian Sorovaki says this has given Netball Fiji ample time to look at other options like traveling overseas for game time.
The support that we're getting from Netball Australia also allows for two competitions closer to the end of the year. So an under-21 competition, which would have been held here in Suva, just the Pacific Island teams, including Australia and New Zealand.
Brighton defender Ben White has been called up to replace Trent Alexander-Arnold in England's Euro 2020 squad. A cool southerly wind flow prevails over the group. That's FBC News Now. Join us for our 1-hour major bulletin at 7 p.m. And be sure to download the FBC app to access the latest in news, sports, and live radio broadcasts from any of our 6 FBC radio stations. Stay safe and good afternoon.